Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second ever IC podcast. I am your host, Chris Walker, and I am here with Brian O'Reilly.
What's going on, everybody?
And the first thing that we're going to do here is announce every single match that's going to take place at IC WrestleMania 10.
I'm excited for this one.
There's a lot of great matches that are going to happen on this card, and I'm very excited to see how well these matches end up being. So, to kick things off here, Brian, you know a thing or two about pre-shows, so we're gonna kick it off with the pre-show here. So the pre-show for IC WrestleMania 10 will be, the first match is Kevin Tibbs versus Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans has been here for a little while, hasn't really accomplished much. Kevin Tibbs is a newer guy, so just seeing where both these guys are at, what do you think of these two getting matched up here?
I think it's a good match for both of them. You know, nobody really knows a lot about either of them, except for Johnny Evans, been here for a while. I myself has encountered Kevin Tibbs a couple times. He's a good player, but this will be one for the books.
And then the second and final match on the pre-show, we're going to see AJ, formerly known as Antonio Pierce, who is trained by Sean Pierce, Hall of Famer. He's going to be returning to the singles competition in the pre-show, taking on a new guy, Hades, who had a really good performance in the Rumble. Showed up, for sure.
Oh yeah. At pre-show, I mean, only 2 matches, but we can expect a lot from these. The thing I noticed a lot here in IC and other companies is that the underdogs always put on the best matches. Like with the kickouts, the moves, the fighting styles, like we see a lot of that.
Like to give you a really good example, at the IC Royal Rumble 6, Liam Morrow, perfect example.
Yes.
Didn't win the match, but he put on a great performance with his kickouts. So, now it's time to get down to business. Now this is the main card for IC WrestleMania 10. The first match on the main card is for the light heavyweight championship, and it is Alan Rex versus Brian O'Reilly versus Alexander McIntyre in a triple threat match for the light heavyweight title.
I'm speechless.
The light heavyweight title hasn't been seen in quite a while. So Brian, how do you feel about getting a championship match here at WrestleMania?
I feel like I kind of deserve it, but then again, you know, it's just I worked so hard for everything here in this company. I might not have a good win-loss record, but I always seem to put on good matches, and this is really a chance for me to prove myself on the biggest stage of them all. You know, I've participated at IC WrestleMania more than once, so this is not my first rodeo. But I've choked every time, and this is IC WrestleMania 10, so let's hope that I can pull through and do good.
And moving on here, the second match, this is going to be an interesting match because a lot of people are going to think that Alex Okami is going to get the win over Ryan Stevens. But Alex Okami will be taking on Ryan Stevens in a last man standing match for the Insanity Championship.
And that sounds like it's going to be one hell of a match. I mean, I've been in the ring with both superstars. Ryan has beat me more than once here in IC because I fall under pressure and always end up messing up, and it's okay though. Hopefully Ryan can I want to root for Ryan because, you know, he's the underdog. We have a heated rivalry, but at the same time, Alex Wolf, he's dominated every league he's been to, every company, every superstar. It doesn't matter who you are, King Aztec, Hunter McIntyre, Biru Kenta. You'll always get hit with the wolf bite and can't kick out of it. So let's see. I'm just really excited for IC WrestleMania.
There's gonna be a lot of talk about these matches and who some people predict to win them. Definitely, most people are gonna think that Alex Okami might win, but you can never underestimate someone like Ryan Stevens. First ever Warfare champion. He just dominated the developmental scene, and when he got to the main roster, it did not take him long to win a light heavyweight championship. And the third match on the card for WrestleMania, IC WrestleMania 10, John Carter is going to take on Hunter McIntyre in Hunter McIntyre's final match. And this match is a normal match, just one fall.
That's it?
Yeah, it's
One
just a
fall.
normal match.
I honestly feel like with the level of skill between these men, it should be an even bigger match, like Hell in a Cell or Extreme Rules or TLC, something of that extent. You know, because John Carter, he's looked at as an underdog. Probably one of the biggest underdogs. You know, his height, don't let that fool you. I've let it fool me multiple times. I thought, you know, this guy's short, he can't really do nothing. But he kicked my butt.
And
Multiple
speaking of John
times.
Carter, he will be on this podcast later on, and we'll have a few questions for him. But Hunter McIntyre, obviously, it was announced he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and this is going to be his final match ever. So that's definitely something that you guys will want to watch. Greatness is going to be leaving us. And then following that match is going to be a death match. A death match. That's right, you heard me right. For the United States Championship, Matt Mercer defending against Scott B. Guinness. These two have had a lot of heat backstage. They just don't like each other. Scott will be on, hopefully, and Matt Mercer, hopefully they will show up to the podcast and talk about what the deal is with this, with all of this controversy surrounding their feud. Scott definitely feels like Matt Mercer has done some wrong things to him, and they both want to tear each other's heads off, and I think that's what they're going to do for the United States Championship.
That match is going to be insane. I'll probably be in the front row watching, if not in the locker room. But man, these two, I've been in the ring with both of these men. Matt Mercer, he's the amount of skill that he has acquired and how he's made a name for himself is unbelievable. Right? Because he comes in the league, nobody really knows who he is, and then when you see Matt Mercer, you're like, oh, okay, that's this guy, or that's this guy. Same thing with Scott B. Guinness. He said he's been in competitive wrestling for 5 years. That's a long time. I've only been in it for like 3 years, and I'm just now getting to where people actually don't consider me a jobber, and I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this here or not, but if I get fined or whatever, it's fine. It's probably going to be pocket change, but after all these years, I've won yet another singles title in Limitless Pro Wrestling. I am the current Limitless Intercontinental title, or Intercontinental Champion, but that's enough talk about me. Scott B. Guinness, Matt Mercer, it's going to be one for the books. I cannot wait to watch it. Good luck to both of those guys. I'll make sure to have the EMTs on standby. And what do you think about this match, Chris?
Well, obviously Matt Mercer, he's proven to be a great competitor. He's had a lot of controversy in IC and other companies that we've seen him in. A lot of controversy surrounding Matt Mercer with decisions he makes and things that he says and stuff like that. But when it comes to wrestling, he's definitely one of the best. He's definitely up there with you know Alex Okami and Hunter McIntyre and King Aztec Kabir Kenta. He's definitely in that conversation. And Scott B. Guinness, he's been gone for a while, comes back in the Rumble, and he gets eliminated by Trey Mercer, who is the brother, I believe, of Matt Mercer. And I mean, that just has to tick you off. Like, if you're Scott B. Guinness and you have a problem with Matt Mercer and his brother, his ally, just eliminates you in what, less than 2 minutes? That has to set you off. And I know he's gonna release all that anger in that match, but is it gonna be enough to take out Matt Mercer? We will find out. But speaking of Matt Mercer, he has won. He won the first ever Immortal Battle Royal, and the next match, the fifth match that will be taking place at IC WrestleMania 10, is the Immortal Battle Royal. And the winner of this match receives a world title shot at the next pay-per-view. And I will obviously reveal a few of the people in the match, not all of them. We will see the likes of Shendon, Cody Sullivan, Liam Morrow, Trey Mercer, and Brent Newman, as well as Jeff Sis. So there's definitely some big names going to be in this Immortal Battle Royal.
Hopefully one of these new guys like the self-proclaimed star Hefsis. I would like to see him win it. He's been acting cocky lately. Really, really cocky. Walking around like he's the best. Listen here, dude. I've been here for like 2 years. You're not the best. I've seen the best. I've been in the ring with the best. And if anything, this was my house before it's yours. Anyways, Hefsis, hope you pull through and actually do something with your career instead of acting like you're all that.
And do you want to say anything about Brent Newman? Because you've had some history with him. He will be in that Immortal Battle Royal.
Brent Newman. Boy, where do I get started? Former rivals, former tag partners. He wanted to claim that I was stealing his gimmick. He was just jealous because I looked better in gold than he did. So then we formed a tag team, it broke up, and now I believe him and Alex are teaming in a different company. I could be wrong. But, Brent Newman, that's a big name. Also, don't let his short size fool you. Same thing with John Carter.
Mm-hmm.
They're both around the same height, and Brent Newman, he is incredibly fast. He's a really good player.
Well, all of these matches so far, and you would think that this card would already be finished. All these matches, we've already named off about 6 or 7 matches, and it just seems like the card is just getting stacked. But we still have 3 more matches to announce. And the next match is one that I think a lot of people are excited for. And definitely both of these men have a lot of issues with each other, and it has been going on since IC WrestleMania 4. IC WrestleMania 4, the main event for the IC World Championship. Drake Walker versus Richard Riley, and the special guest was Leo O'Reilly. And Leo O'Reilly sided with Drake Walker and let him win the match for the IC World Championship. Drake Walker paid off Leo O'Reilly, and Leo O'Reilly was promised a World Championship match, in which Drake Walker never gave him. And Leo O'Reilly obviously took out his frustrations via backstage, and he's been asking for a match with Drake Walker forever. And ladies and gentlemen, Drake Walker will take on Leo O'Reilly in a no-holds-barred match at IC WrestleMania 10.
Oh man, that's gonna this card, this show has me speechless here. Like I honestly can't even think of what to say because like all the big names are really showing up at IC WrestleMania. We're not even finished announcing the card yet.
We still have 2 more
Uh,
matches.
this match between my brother and Drake Walker, I've like most people on this card, I've been in the ring with both of them. Leo's a good player, really good player. 10 out of 10. Deserves a match against the legend Drake Walker. But where's my match against Drake? I almost broke his neck a while ago. I don't know if he's ever told you that story, Chris. But we were in the ring, right? It was a dark match, and I was setting up a table, right? And your dad comes and he goes and tries to springboard on top of me while I'm setting up the table. And somehow, it honestly looked like he pile drived himself. I don't know how the hell it happened, but he was able to finish the match, which is always good. But this match is going to be really good. My pick to win is obviously going to be my brother. Very good competitor.
Honestly, I don't think this match is as much about winning to Drake Walker as it is to Leo, because the amount of punishment that has been dealt from Drake Walker to Leo. I mean, he literally paid him off. Drake paid Leo off to help him win a world championship main event at IC WrestleMania 4. And not only did he pay him off, but he promised him a world championship match. And it never happened. He never you know, came through with that promise. And the Leo is, I mean, Leo could talk for hours. You know how Leo can get, but he's been asking for this match for literally years, and it finally is gonna take place. Now, moving on, we have 2 more matches. This next match was announced very recently. It has already been announced, but obviously there's probably quite a few people who haven't heard the news. But Murda Mirai will be retiring at IC WrestleMania 10, the Insane One, the Hall of Famer. He's obviously a legend, but the only thing that he hasn't been able to do in his career is win a world championship in IC. Well, guess what, Brian? He has one last chance, because the Elite World Championship will return as Murda Mirai will take on the seer Dennis Roven for the Elite World Championship inside a Hell in a Cell at IC WrestleMania 10.
These matches just keep getting better and better. I am beyond excited for that. You know, I really hope Murda can pull through and win a title before he hangs up the boots. And Dennis Roven, the seer, whatever the hell he wants to call himself now, he's been through a lot. He could really use this, but he hasn't worked nearly as hard as Murda Mirai has.
I mean,
So
Dennis Roven is definitely in that conversation as well, because he not only defeated Alex Okami in that tournament, you know, for the world title, for the IC world title. Not only did he defeat Alex Okami, but a lot of people thought he was going to actually win that whole tournament.
Yeah, I had faith in Murda, but you know, sometimes you choke under pressure or whatever it was that happened. But he gets a chance to redeem himself at Mania, so.
And if Murder Mirai doesn't win this Elite World Championship against Dennis Roven, he will retire with no World Championship, which has been his main goal for a long time now, to win a World Championship here. And that's his final opportunity at IC WrestleMania 10. And
It'll
now,
definitely be a great match.
for the main event. The one that we had a 30-man IC Royal Rumble match for. To see who was worthy enough to main event IC WrestleMania 10. Well, after taking out, well, obviously he didn't eliminate all 29, but after defeating 29 other men, Ibiru Kenta won the IC Royal Rumble 6. And we had a tournament, an 8-man tournament, to determine who Ibiru Kenta will be taking on in the main event for the IC World Championship. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, it will be Ibiru Kenta versus King Aztec for the IC World Championship.
That is another big match. Like I said, they just keep getting better and better. King Aztec has really proved himself here. He's blocked out the haters. People always say, oh, he's not that good, he's not that good. He won a tournament and is now in the main event of IC WrestleMania.
He got past Murder Mirai in that tournament, by the way.
No disrespect to Ibiru Kenta, he's my boy. I love him, but I'm gonna have to say King Aztec is gonna pull through. He's had so much momentum heading into this match.
King Aztec is a great competitor, but I have my money on Ibiru Kenta. He was my pick to win the Royal Rumble, and he's my pick to win the main event.
Lots of people be in attendance to witness history go down.
Now, let's run through the card one more time. If anyone missed any matches that we said, I will quickly run through them. The pre-show, we have Kevin Tibbs versus Johnny Evans. And then we have AJ returning to action to singles competition against Hades. And then on the main card, kicking it off, we have Alan Rex versus Brian O'Reilly versus Alexander McIntyre for the returning light heavyweight championship in a normal triple threat match. And then the second match of the main card, we have Alex Okami taking on Ryan Stevens for the Insanity Championship in a last man standing match. And then in the third match, Hunter McIntyre's retirement match versus his son, John Carter, in a normal one fall match. And then we have Matt Mercer defending his United States Championship against his huge rival, Scott B. Guinness, in a death match. And then following that, we have the Immortal Battle Royal, where the winner receives a world title shot at the next pay-per-view. The match will include people like Shendon, Cody Sullivan, Brent Newman, Trey Mercer, Liam Morrow, and Jeffsis. And then we have one of the biggest, most asked for matches. Drake Walker taking on Leo O'Reilly. The two have had history since IC WrestleMania 4, where Leo was a special ref. And that will be a no-holds-barred match. And then we have Murder Mirai in his possible final match, taking on the Seer, Dennis Roven, in a Hell in a Cell for the returning Elite World Championship. Murder Mirai's final chance to win a World Championship. And then the main event, the winner of the IC Royal Rumble, Ibiru Kenta, taking on the winner of the tournament, King Aztec, for the IC World Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, we will have a few guests on the show later on, so stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IC podcast, and we have a very special guest, Hall of Famer, the Insane One, Murder Mirai is here.
Hello, infidels.
So obviously there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Murder Mirai right now. The first question is, what did you take away from your loss against John Carter at the IC Royal Rumble 6?
What did I take away from it? Is that really your first question? Like, seriously. What is there to take away from it? Yes, I lost. Big whoop. Everyone loses. but I have nothing to take away from the match. Why? It's because look at my career. What can I take away from this match that I haven't already done? Like, yeah, he got the upper hand on me. It's because I wasn't at the top of my game. I've been gone for a really long time. But yet, people get their hopes up. And sometimes, I can admit, I let people down. But sometimes, letting people down is the best part. You know, just to see people upset, cry, it brings a smile to my face. So, what did I take away from this? Absolutely nothing.
Well, with that being said, what are your thoughts on the Seer, Dennis Roven, being your opponent for IC WrestleMania 10?
Dennis Roven, the former King of Kong. I mean, just another victim that I can jot down in my book. I don't think me and Mr. Roven have ever seen eye to eye. But at Mania, Mr. Roven is gonna visit a really dark place that he's probably never been before. A place not even hell can compare to. Because the place that I plan on taking him is somewhere so dark that he wish he can see the light of day. That he wish he never stepped foot in the ring with me.
So, recently on this exact podcast that you're on right now, we went through every single match on the IC WrestleMania 10 match card, and we made some really big announcements. And one of those announcements was that you will take on Dennis Roven for the returning Elite World Championship. Now, my question for you is, this may be your final chance to ever win a World Championship in IC in your Hall of Fame career. How will you handle the pressure going up against Roven at IC WrestleMania?
I don't set my previous failures as setbacks. I use them to fuel the fire within me. This will be my last and final opportunity to become world champion. Something that has eluded me my entire career. And even if, and that's a big if, I lose to Dennis Roven, I don't need a world title to set my career and make my career. Look at my accomplishments besides being world champion. I am probably one of the most decorated superstars that have ever set foot in a ring. You will never, ever find anyone like Murder Mirai. No one as insane as Murder Mirai. If you can find anyone that can replace my legacy, I'll be waiting.
Thank you for getting on the podcast, Mr. Murder Mirai, and good luck in your IC WrestleMania match for that Elite World Championship. I'll be rooting for you.
Ta-ta, infidels.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IC Wrestling Podcast. Here we have probably one of the most underrated competitors here in IC. John, you have something really big planned for WrestleMania. Can you speak on that a little bit and
Yes.
how you feel?
I will be fighting my father, Hunter McIntyre, in his retirement match at IC WrestleMania. It's a big moment for me, and I'm sure it is for him too.
Now, John, uh, my first question for you: what type of mentality does it take to defeat somebody like Hall of Famer Myrna Mirai, like you did at the Royal Rumble?
You know, it's not the mentality that did it, it's the skill. My mindset doesn't really matter. I just gotta go in there thinking just match, and that's what I did, and my skill prevailed. I'm simply just better than Murder Mirai. I'm simply better than Cliff Barton. So that just makes me simply better than almost everyone else on this roster.
Big words from John Carter. Um, so we know that you're going to be facing Hunter McIntyre in his retirement match at IC WrestleMania 10. But what is your plan? Because I mean, he's known as one of the greatest superstars alive. What is your plan? Like, how are you going to enter this match? What's your mindset going to be like? And do you have a strategy?
I'm gonna go in there thinking about all the crap Hunter's put me through the years. He wasn't a great father. He abandoned me as a child. He abandoned me and my brother. He's not this great guy that you all know him to be. He's an evil human being, and I plan on giving him the beating he deserves.
Strong words from John Carter, and I understand your emotion on that one. Is there anybody else who would like to possibly fight before you retire? I know it's probably a long time before you think about that, but there's just so many.
There's many men I'd like to face. I've already put down 2 legends. I mean, Drake Walker. I'd love to fight him and get back for him for what he did to me. He tried ending my career 2 years ago in a TLC match. He AA'd me off the ladder through steel steps. He tried killing me. And trust me, I would love to do the same to him. That's for another day, not for today.
Well, John, good luck on your match with Hunter McIntyre. No disrespect, but I think you'll need it.
I won't need it, because as I said earlier, I'm simply better. I've beaten 2 legends already. He's just the next one.
Well, with that being said, thank you for being on the podcast, John.
No problem.